And welcome back to redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd. In today's tutorial we're going to be working on the spoke motif, and this is a snowflake, and this is something that's really quite amazing to do. It doesn't take much time at all in order to do this. You can add some stiffener to this and you can use it as Christmas ornaments or even attach it to any gifts. This is from the pattern called the Snowflake Sweet Treat Wrapper, and this is motif number 1, and it's called the spoke snowflake motif. And so if you would like to follow the pattern, there is instructions available for that, or you can just simply grab your crochet hook and some yarn and just quickly follow along with me today. Let's begin to work on the motifs. This is motif number 1 called the loop spokes, and just like what you see here, these actually are not that difficult. The instructions are really intimidating, but in actual fact it's really not that hard once you understand the pattern. Remember that this is always in groups of 6, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and what you basically do to one you have to do to the other, and when you understand that, it's basically a breeze as you work your way around. So let's begin to do the loop spokes snowflake motif number 1. To begin snowflake number 1, we are going to do an adjustable ring, which is also called the magic circle. Just droop the yarn in front of your fingers like so, and just come up and cross over right here. So essentially we're just going to slip in our hook on the underside, grab this one here just like so, and we're just going to pinch everything so that it's a group just like so. So it's a magic ring just like there. So you might have to slow that down. So essentially what it says is to chain 1, so let's chain 1, so that kind of locks it, and essentially we want to play so that these 2 strings are inside the loop. So it says to single crochet 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, oh, so let me try that again, 3, 3, and then we got 4. Kind of hard to keep a hold of that ring in the very beginning. I will not deny that. This is 5 and 6 just like so. So essentially where is the ring? So you just want to pull on the string that's coming out, and all of a sudden that you'll have this completely turn into a complete circle. And basically it says to slip stitch with the first single crochet, so we just want to slip stitch it to the very first one to form the circle just like so. So that concludes round number 1. As I mentioned in the beginning that we have 6 spokes, that's the 6 different sides of this snowflake. We need to keep a mindful eye that we end up with 6 at these particular stages. So we're gonna go into round number 2, and it says to chain 1, and then it says the 2 single crochets into each stitch going all the way around. So we have to have a total of 12 going all the way around after we're done this, and you can literally see here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that we have to come into this first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we just have to be mindful that we end up with 6 pieces. Okay, so 2 single crochets into each. Circles are sometimes really difficult to explain on video, but they're really critical for stuff like this where you definitely have to have the right number of sides for it. So we're putting in 2 single crochets into each, coming all the way back around, and then it says to join with the slip stitch. What you want to do is you want to make sure there are 6. So you got 2, 4, and then you got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12, and then we just join it. So do double check that. It just makes a huge difference on your satisfaction with this project at the end. Let's move along to round number 3. We're simply just going to chain 1, and then it says to single crochet in the first stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, and then chain 2, and then basically you have the asterisk there, and so we're going to carry on. So let me just show you. The first one is going to be 1 single crochet. So the first stitch is 1 single crochet, and then the next one is 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, and then it says to chain 2, and then it says single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then chain. Okay, 2 again. So the next stitch is going to be a single crochet, then this one is going to be 2 single crochets and then chain 2, 1 and 2, and so the next one is 1 single crochet and 2 single crochets. When I first started doing this, I thought that was an error in the pattern because I've never seen anything like this, but it does make a huge difference. So after you get your 2 in there together, chain 2 and then come into the next one for 1 single crochet. The next one is 2 single crochets and chain 2. The next one is 1 single crochet. The next one is 2 single crochets, chain 2. Coming into the next one, 1 single crochet. The next one is 2, and essentially we've turned all the way around, so we're going to finalize with chaining 2 and then coming down into the very first one for a slip stitch, just like you see here. So essentially you should have a total of 6 sides to this, so you'll have the chaining 2s just indicating where they all are. So we're now here at this point, and normally in crochet we would be technically ready to start a corner. Remember how we've been doing single crochet and then 2 single crochets into the same. What that means is that there's a total of 3 single crochets going in between each of the corners. It makes a difference when I explain it to you that way. So let's start off with our instructions. We're going to chain 1 immediately right where we've joined. Let's come down for a single crochet, and then we immediately just skip the next one and go to the next one over. It's the 3rd one in a row, like so, just like you see. So it says single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into the next chain 2 space, which is this corner piece right here. So we're gonna single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet. So let's begin our pattern again. So the very first is gonna be 1 single crochet. We skip the middle one and immediately go to the 3rd one for a single crochet, and then essentially we come to the next corner again. So it's 1 single crochet, chain 2 and 1 single crochet in. Okay, so there's the pattern. So the first one is single crochet, we skip the next one, go to the 3rd, single crochet, you're back on the corner again, so single crochet, chain 2, single crochet in. And essentially it's now making these spokes even bigger. So carry that same configuration going around. So single crochet, skip to the next, go to the 3rd, single crochet, you're on the next corner again, so single crochet, chain 2, single crochet, first one, single crochet, skip the middle one, go to the last one, single crochet, going to the next chain 2 space, so single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. We go into the first one and then we skip the middle, go into the last. Like you see, we're now on the next corner. So this is the final corner, so chain single crochet, chain 2 and single crochet in, and essentially now we just want to join it with the beginning single crochet to finalize off that round. So all those instructions were really quite simple when you look at it from the perspective of basically what happens on one side has to happen to all of the rest. So we're just going to join it with a slip knot or a slip stitch, just like so. So this is where we are on the project. Let's begin round number 5. We're going to start off with the chaining of 1, and it says to single crochet into the first stitch and then single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Okay, so we're going to go into the first one and single crochet, and then it says for the next one it says, well, we're going to single crochet in, just like so. And so now it says to slip stitch, chain 7 and slip stitch into the chain 2 space. So this is the corner, so we're going to slip stitch, so pull through and through, and now we're going to chain 7, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, and then we come back into that same space and slip stitch it, and that creates the loop that we're going to be working with on the next one. So it says to immediately skip the next stitch, and so then only 3 of these in a row will have the single crochet before we hit to the next edge again. Okay, so this is the next corner here, so we're just going to slip stitch and then chain 7 again. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7, coming back down into the corner for a slip stitch, and then we immediately skip the first one and then just go into the remaining 3 that are in there. So continue to do that same configuration all the way around. We'll meet back up in just a second. We'll carry on to the final round. So we come all the way back around. I've just done the slip stitch on the final, and immediately we just have to join with the slip stitch to the where we started the first single crochet, and that'll conclude off round number 5. So we're now ready for the final round, and you can see the loops are now ready, and I'm gonna trim off my loose end from the beginning here in order to keep it out of the way for the next part of this tutorial. So we're gonna begin round number 6, and we're just gonna simply just chain up 1. Every time we're in between these loops, we're just going to slip stitch our way across. So it doesn't matter which side you're on, you're gonna always do that until you get right over to the loop itself, just like you see. So let's slip stitch all the way across, and then essentially let's play with these loops here, and it says to 3 single crochets, chain 3 times, and then you will notice that there is a bracket of 3 single crochets. Let me explain how that works. So let's put in 3 single crochets first, and now we're going to chain 3. So 1, 2, and 3, and because this is wrapping around a loop, you can just shift these out of the way and move them down. So let's do 3 more single crochets again. Okay, and now I'm gonna shift them again. So let's chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, coming back down for 3 single crochets, 1, 2, and 3, and now chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. So that was the 3 times, and then before the bracket says 3 single crochets, this is the final 3 single crochets to finish this off. So this will give each one of your spokes 3 points by doing so. So I'm just gonna immediately come down into the center pieces again and just slip stitch our way across to the next loop. So by slip stitching, you're not adding any extra really layers or anything, so it's keeping it nice and narrowed down into the snowflake so that your spokes really pop out. So if I see this here, you have 1, 2, and 3. So let's review this one more time before I let you go. So it's 3 single crochets, we chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, coming back down into the spoke again. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and again just shift it out of the way, and then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, coming back down for 3 more single crochets in, and then again 1, 2, and 3 chains, and then just keep shifting, and then the final 3 single crochets in. So you know you're done once you have the 3 spokes. It's almost like the queen's crown on top of the spokes, and then essentially we're gonna come back in and just slip stitch our way to the next one. So carry on with that same configuration going all the way around. We're gonna finalize this off because this is the final round, and then you can simply just attach this to your band afterward. So I've now come all the way back around, and this is where I started slip stitching when I went across. So we're just simply, you've just finished the last spoke, we just wanted to join it with this slip stitch to finish off, and then essentially we now want to weave in our ends and finish off the snowflake. If you're attaching it to the band, you'll just want to sew right into the center of it. It does suggest that if you would like to add starch to stiffen up your snowflakes, you can do so. You can even use this for a hanging ornament on your tree as well, or any other projects that you wish, by just adding a little bit of stiffener to it. So that would be how you would do snowflake motif number 1 with the loop spokes. The next snowflake is now coming right up. Well, that's it for today. On behalf of redheart.com as well as the Crochet Crowd, I'm your host Mikey. Please have a safe and happy holiday season ahead and enjoy your new snowflakes. Until next time, I'll see ya.